Yeah, Coach, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
I hate to bring up a negative thing, but I was wondering if you could address the 48-yard kickoff return to start last week's game, and it seems a little late in the season to be having that happen.
I would agree with you. We knew the scheme that they were going to do, and the kick was fine. We were trying to challenge them. We felt like we could do a good job against that group, and they blocked us up pretty well. We didn't get over on the front side. We didn't get over the top to contain the ball. We had 3 missed tackles, and we didn't do a good enough job off the backside. Anytime you have 2 double teams on the front side of a return, you got guys on the backside have to show up, and we didn't. So it was a terrible way to start a football game.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marla. Next is Scott Petrick.
Hey, Mike, that field goal that they tried to start, at the end of that first drive on Sunday night, did you like the way you guys handled it? And how surprised were you? How surprised were you that they did that?
They had run a what we call a hideout play earlier in the year against Dallas. It was successful, but they were moving, so they called it back. But we were ready for that. I'm ready for something like that. Obviously, not that exact play. They had not shown that. Coach Judge had done a little bit of that type of stuff in New England, something similar to that before. So, we were in a safe look anyway, so it was really easy to just check to our base defense, and the guys reacted perfectly. I didn't see any holes. The only thing I wish we would have done is maybe rush that quarterback or their punter a little bit sooner, but I thought our guys reacted perfectly.
Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. Next is Nate Ulrich.
Hey, Mike, with Cody's miss, what did you see? And I'm not trying to, open a door for an excuse, because I know you would never take for him. But when there's a penalty and then, the kick gets moved back and something like that, what kind of a adjustment is that for a kicker?
He's got to make that kick. There was no wind. It was a beautiful night. He knows that. And he hit it, started going down the middle, and then he didn't have enough power behind it, and it faded off. And it was too bad too, because in any type of situation, we have to handle any of that adversity. It was a 48-yarder, it's not a 58-yarder. We got to make that kick. That could have hurt our football team, and he knows that. Cody knows that. He's a pro. He made no excuses. He knows he didn't hit it. He hit a solid ball, but not a good enough ball to make it from 48.
Do you talk about that though? That you have. Obviously he's thinking about the kick and the distance, right? But it can change in a split second. Oh, sure.
No, he didn't bat an eye there. It didn't bother. That part didn't bother him. He's a pro. He can handle that adversity mentally, no problem. He did not hit the exact ball he needed to hit there. 48-yarder is not easy, but at the end of the day, he's plenty good enough to make that.
Thank you, Nate. We'll go to Dan Lobby.
Hey, Coach. First thing, going back to that fake field goal, it looked like it was B.J. Goodson that kind of made that play. We've seen him kind of sniff out little trick plays like that before. What is it about him that kind of allows him to do that stuff?
Well, first of all, he's a student of the game. It's important to him. He watches a lot of tape. I know he's done a great job for our defense this year. It's important to him. His antenna is always up, so he's ready for something like that. We had told him going in, the whole field goal block group and what we call our base stay, our defense stay against our punt team group, that they could do something, try to jumpstart their team and get some points on the board and maybe get an easy touchdown or easy first down. But he snuffed it out. Malcolm Smith did a great job. He's over there on the kicker, and then he fades back to the inside when he noticed they were throwing it inside of the center, who was the guy who snapped the ball, who was their right wing. So he already had reported eligible. So it was a good scheme by them, and our guys did a great job. Sheldrick Redwine did a great job. Overall, everything was covered how we needed to have it covered.
And then I wanted to ask you one other thing. We've asked you guys so much about kind of how hard this year has been with all the virtual stuff and doing things differently, but has there been any benefit from that, do you think? Is there something that maybe you think could continue beyond this year?
With the Zoom meetings and stuff?
Yeah, just the way you guys are doing things. Has there been a benefit to it?
I would love to do media Zoom meetings for the rest of my career. I think it would be fantastic. I think we need to do that. I'll talk to Murph after this is over. Maybe he'll set that up for us. I don't know. I'm sure there's going to be it's amazing how everybody's adapted. Players, coaches, personnel, fans. Everybody's adapted. You guys have adapted to a very, very strange year. Is there some good that come out of it? Probably. I'm sure we can all go back and write down and jot down the pros and cons of everything that's gone on in terms of the football part of it. But I can't think of anything right offhand. I'd rather do everything in person, to be honest with you. I'm a people person. I love being around our guys. When they're in the building, we don't see them in the building, we see them on the field. So that's a little bit different. But other than that, I think our guys have handled it well. Our staff has handled it well, and hopefully we'll continue to flourish here down the stretch.
Thanks.
Thank you, Dan. Tony Grossi, you're up.
Hey, Mike, I wanted to go back to that zany play again. What kind of scouting report did you have on that center to triple cover him?
Well, actually, it was, like I said, Malcolm Smith did a good job. He had the kicker in the flat, and once he realized where the punter was throwing the ball, the holder was throwing the ball, then he kind of faded back inside. But, we didn't know exactly what was coming. Our guys did a great job communicating. You guys saw Vincent Taylor start running out, and we needed to hit him back in the box. So, the linebackers got him. Actually, I think Sheldon Richardson told him to go back in the box, and the communication was outstanding. And, you never know what's coming. The big thing there, you hope you don't jump off sides. You can't lose your composure. We're always ready for that type of play, and you just never know exactly what they're going to run. But our guys reacted well. I was excited about that. It was a big stop for our defense and a big stop for a field goal block team.
And since you coached under Freddie last year, do you think he had anything to do with the creation of that play?
Well, if he knew me well enough, he knew that stuff shouldn't work against us.
Okay.
You hope it does. You hope it doesn't.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. We'll go back to Scott Petrick.
Hey, Mike, the Jets blocked a punt last week. When you see that, is it all about you guys? Like, if you do your protection perfectly, will anybody ever block a punt against you?
Well, I think any team, if they block it how they're supposed to block it or protect it, they shouldn't get a punt block. JT Hassel, JT was here for a while, and he did a great job. Great get off, great speed. He dipped underneath the tackle's outstretched hand and blocked the punt. He timed it up perfect. I was happy for him, and I'm glad he got it out of the way. Hopefully, that's it for now. But I think if we do our job and we protect the way we're supposed to protect, and we use the techniques and fundamentals that we're supposed to use, and that's why I'm on these guys all the time about that stuff, we should be able to protect against any scheme. But it's about going out there and beating your opponent. It's basically you're blocking, if it's zone protection, you're blocking the guy in your gap. If it's man protection, you're blocking the man that's assigned to you. So no matter what, it comes down to fundamentals, techniques, and being stout, having good base underneath you, and protecting that launch point.
Thanks.
Thank you, Scott. Tom Withers has our next question.
Thanks, Rob. Merry Christmas, Coach.
Thank you, Tom. You too.
This question's a good segue, I think, for me. It seems like, Mike, I've seen more spread punt formations recently. I know it's a little bit more pronounced in the college game where guys are just more spread out across the line. What's the reasoning behind that? Is it just to kind of tilt the field? Is it to invite them to rush and then potentially set up a return?
Well, as you guys know, in college, there's no restrictions on who can cover when.
Right.
So you can have 10 guys covering downfield before the ball's punted. In the NFL, it's only the two widest guys on the line of scrimmage that can cover prior to the ball being punted. So that's why in the NFL we use the tighter,
a little more stacked,
little tighter formation to protect that launch point, because you can't get downfield anyway, so you might as well protect the launch. But yeah, it's a lot different in college, obviously.
Hey, and then in terms of your specialists going back to the same venue for the second time in 6 days or whatever, does it give you an advantage just in terms of, knowing the environment, knowing the wind, those kinds of things, even though you said it was a crystal clear?
Yeah, it was a great night. And I don't know, I think the winds aren't supposed to be bad on Sunday either. I don't look at the weather. I just listen to my guys because they're constantly checking it. But yeah, it should be a similar type of game. And I think anytime you play back-to-back in the same stadium, that obviously has an advantage.